Coming up, we'll tell you what we know about a fire in a PIERRE restaurant.
Plus, what changes could be coming for the Sioux Falls School District's virtual academy. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Sioux Falls police are investigating after a fake $100 bill was passed at a downtown business. It happened at a hotel near 8th and Phillips.
Police say someone came in and wanted to make change of $100. The employee didn't notice the bill was fake until after exchanging it. Police say there are a few ways to tell if a bill is fake.
Looking at the bills, if there's anything suspicious like these motion picture use only ones, they look real, but obviously it says motion picture use only on it. There's other ones that we've seen that have Chinese writing on it.
Police say another test is to feel the texture of the paper and hold it up to the light to see the watermarking and security strip. We're learning more about a fire in a PIERRE restaurant. Shortly after 7 o'clock Monday night, crews were called to the Super China Buffet on Sioux Avenue for reports of a fire.
Smoke and fire were visible as firefighters arrived on scene. Customers and staff inside the building were able to get out safely. Cause of the fire is under investigation. Turning to weather now, crews are still cleaning up after the latest blast of winter weather.
Let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Munt to see if today's weather will help with that process.
Well, we'll see what we can do. We are looking at temperatures that should hit the middle, maybe upper 30s in parts of eastern KELOLAND. We're starting with cloud cover, areas of fog in eastern South Dakota as well, but better chances for sunshine as we go into tomorrow, and that will help our temperatures warm. Numbers do return to the 40s and 50s, but next week is looking active. I think more rain than snow for next week. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. Snow may be back in KELOLAND, but spring is inching closer. To prepare for the warm weather, Hotel on Phillips is offering a new program for guests.
Bike rentals will now be available for guests to hit the nearby trails as the weather heats up.
Currently, we have 4 bikes. Includes the helmets, which we require them to wear. Also includes a water bottle. And then we are in the process right now of looking for a tandem bicycle built for 2, which we think will be a really fun experience.
The bikes are only available to rent for guests staying at the hotel. As demand increases for the bikes, they will offer more as needed. Fireworks may not return to Mount Rushmore this year because the National Park Service has denied the state of South Dakota's request.
The NPS said in a letter last week that potential risks to the park were still being evaluated from last year's event. Businesses and city officials in town have their own thoughts about the decision.
I think overall we'll be fine. You know, July 3rd and 4th, as many of the businesses know, is our busy time. But I would say last year with the challenges of COVID and stuff, the fireworks was really our kickoff to the summer.
The City Chamber is still planning events for the 4th of July celebration without the fireworks at Mount Rushmore. Last week's decision from the National Park Service follows years of debate over the environmental impact of fireworks at the monument. Between 1998 and 2009, tons of fireworks were set off over the top of the memorial to celebrate the 4th of July.
However, the practice was stopped in 2009 due to the threat of forest fire in the Black Hills because of the pine beetle infestation. Then a federal investigation found the display was filling the water around the Mount Rushmore with a toxic chemical.
Following the announcement from the National Park Service, Governor Kristi Noem's office says she will do everything in her ability to celebrate America's birthday with fireworks at Mount Rushmore.
Sioux Falls parents have 1 week to sign up their kids for virtual learning next school year. The district is taking what it learned this year and applying it to next year. Changes include no virtual learning for the youngest kids, kindergarten through 2nd grade.
3rd through 8th graders will have the option of in-class learning or the virtual academy. However, kids signing up for the virtual classes must meet certain guidelines. And high school students will have options, including a blended learning experience, which combines in-class education with virtual classes.
Our students, when they're in the classroom, they gather information from the presentations from the teachers all day long, from those conversations with their friends and their colleagues. And when you're virtually learning, you get a small chunk of time with the teacher, but then you're a self-motivated, self-directed learner.
The biggest change for teachers is the district will use its own curriculum, so those learning virtually will be on pace with those learning in the classroom. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today, well, cloud cover continues, mostly cloudy skies, but we are watching some breaks in those clouds here across the northwest. I also think kind of on the edge of some of that clearing, we may end up popping up some of those brief areas of either light snow or light rain, and that kind of comes along with the pattern here, as a lot of these little spots on radar will have a tendency to drift from north to south. So that's how we're going to close out this Wednesday, and you can clearly see that noted there on FutureCast. Whatever does end up firing up on radar, that'll fall apart tonight. Skies are clearing. Tomorrow, we're on good, solid footing for warmer weather because we've got March sun on our side. And I do think that melting will be quite common there tomorrow. Big storm today heads to our south. That's not a weather maker for us. High pressure for the weekend means warming numbers, 50s, even 60-degree weather, especially as we really lose the snow quickly. And then we're going to have our eyes set on another storm system coming in early next week. More to say about that story in the days ahead, but that also may end up moving the needle on the drought monitors. So we're definitely in a pattern of change here. We're watching it all carefully here for you. 40 degrees today, Mitchell, mainly cloudy, but we've got more sunshine in the northwest, 45 Buffalo. Those folks in the northwest and north central still have yet to receive much moisture benefits from these recent systems. And I think yet again, the next one will probably hit the south more, with Sioux Falls in good shape here probably to get some rain on Monday, and then maybe rain or snow by Tuesday. We'll watch how fast that colder air slides in. Aberdeen also watching rain chances Monday. I do think some of the north could be at least in the game here for some of that moisture, but if we were to look at the raw data, the south is definitely more favorable. And Pierre in central South Dakota, again, watching the chance of moisture Monday into Tuesday. I do think there's a case to be said of some heavy wet snow on the backside of that system, and that may include the Black Hills again. We'll see which parts of the hills will get that. So a lot of information yet to come. Find out more details with our Storm Center update at KELOLAND.com.